So 306 non-citizens are allowed to vote. And this is what they're admitting to. Who knows?
And more on the breaking news now. A federal judge just ordered Virginia to reinstate the more than 1,600 voters taken off the state's voter rolls after being identified as non-citizens. The Justice Department filed a lawsuit after their removal, which alleged that Virginia violated federal law by systematically removing those non-citizens from voter rolls too close to Election Day.
I told y'all what they was doing. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks, because y'all know when we got the Red Cup, we're about to spill some truth. And today we're on one. Today it's Messy Fridays, and I'm telling you right now, this is going to blow your mind. I told y'all about maybe 3 or so weeks ago that they had illegal aliens, non-citizens, whatever you want to call them, on the voter rolls, and they were going to try to use them in the election. Everybody said in my comments, oh, it's conspiracy theories, blah, 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 blah. And now look at Virginia. Here we go. Breaking news.
More on the breaking news now. A federal judge just ordered Virginia to reinstate the more than 1,600 voters taken off the state's voter rolls after being identified as non-citizens. The Justice Department filed a lawsuit after their removal, which alleged that Virginia violated federal law by systematically removing those non-citizens from voter rolls too close to Election Day. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin says the state will immediately petition the court for an emergency injunction. We have Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin by phone for his very first reaction.
Okay, so you just saw that there. You saw the DOJ has sued Virginia. Okay. And what's been happening is Virginia has been purging its rolls like most states. OK, they have been purging their rolls of all of these illegal immigrants, these migrants, whatever you want to call them, non-citizens. They have been purging their rolls because they're on the voter registration rolls, and they've been getting certified to go ahead and vote. I reported on this about 3 weeks ago. OK, I reported that Oregon had a problem, and I reported that Arizona had a problem. Texas was speaking out. I literally reported this. That's what you saw in the beginning of this clip. OK, in the coming up part, I literally reported on this. People in my comments were telling me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I knew what I was talking about. All right. I live in D.C. Virginia is right here, like literally right here. This is election fraud. They're going to use all of the migrants that they let in and gave free stuff to get the vote. Americans are voting for Trump. I don't know what y'all are getting about this. Okay, if you actually look at who's voting, Americans are voting for Trump. Trump is up in the polls right now. Okay, we're voting for Trump. We don't want this nonsense that's going on. But we're going to get into all of that plus more. Let's go ahead into Fox and them talking to Governor Youngkin. Here we go.
Your reaction, Governor.
Yeah, Harris, this is a stunning ruling by a federal judge who is ordering Virginia to reinstate individuals who have self-identified as non-citizens back on the voter rolls. And what's even more astounding is the vast majority of these folks had presented immigration documents confirming that they were non-citizens, and we recently had that verified by federal authorities. So here we are with a judge saying, put people back on the voter rolls who you know are non-citizens. And this is under a law in Virginia that's been in effect since 2006. It has been applied by Republican and Democrat governors alike into this 90-day period. And here we are 11 days before a presidential election, and a federal judge is ordering them back on the voter rolls. It's astounding to me that this could possibly happen. I mean, listen, common sense says non-citizens aren't on the voter rolls, but the Constitution and the law say it as well. And that's why we are immediately petitioning the Fourth Circuit for an emergency stay here on this injunction. And we will immediately go to the U.S. Supreme Court if necessary.
Look,
we are not going to sit by and let this happen.
I'm reading, Governor, that the executive order requiring the removal of them came on August 7th. Which was 90 days before Election Day. So clearly you had begun this process far ahead of when the DOJ was coming for you. I don't understand why there is any question about the timing of this.
Harris, this process has been going on for years. For years. This is not something that just started in the 90-day window. And by the way, the 90-day window doesn't even apply because these are non-citizens who shouldn't have been on the voter roll to begin with. And this is an individualized process. These people have self-identified as non-citizens and either by accident or purpose ended up on the voter rolls, and they should have not been there in the first place. And so to suggest that we have to put them back on the voter roll is why everyone is just reacting with this immense sense of amazement. Could this possibly be?
All right, so y'all just heard Governor Youngkin. So this is happening in Virginia, okay? The DOJ sued Virginia, and now they get to keep non-citizens on the roll when he didn't even want them on the roll, okay? But they get to keep non-citizens on the roll that are going to vote for Kamala Harris. Why are they going to vote for Kamala Harris? Because she let them in the country. That's why, okay? But I digress with that. I want to get to the point of I sound the alarm over here for my watchers on voter rolls. People told me in the comments that it was crazy. I knew that this was happening. I can literally see it. So I want you guys to check out other states, all right? Right now, that happened weeks ago up until now that are going through the same thing. And the mainstream media isn't talking about it. You know why? Because they don't want you to know. But we're going to talk about it here on the Red Cup. Here we go.
Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Ellen McNamara. The state Supreme Court has just ruled that nearly 98,000 people whose citizenship documents had not been confirmed can vote in all races during the November election. So that means federal, state, and local. The court's decision comes after the Office of the Maricopa County Recorder uncovered a database error that for 2 decades mistakenly had designated these people as having access to the full ballot. Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer sued the Secretary of State's office to get clarification and asked the High Court to weigh in quickly to resolve the matter.
Oregon Secretary of State found more than 300 non-citizens on the voter rolls, the state calling it a mistake by the DMV.
Although Oregon's kind of been in front of, making sure everybody had access and the right to vote, I don't know that we've always necessarily felt that it was 100% secure.
Senate Minority Leader Republican Daniel Bonham is talking about the 2016 enacted motor voter law, a law signed by then Governor Kate Brown that registered a person to vote when they applied for a driver's license.
Let the Secretary of State do their job. We want to have open and secure access to our voting system, but we have now seen it's been identified and we said there's going to be problems, and look what has happened. There's problems.
Governor Abbott announced that more than 1 million names have been removed from voter rolls in the last 3 years. According to the governor, more than 6,500 non-citizens were on that list, which is less than 1% of the total. Among them, at least 1,900 have a voter history.
Okay, so there you have it, right? We did Texas, we did Arizona, we did Oregon, and now Virginia. So what I am saying is I could keep going. I probably can go through all of the quote unquote Democratic states, right? And really see that this is a 450,000 in one state, 1 million in Texas, okay? Hundreds in Oregon, and then look at Virginia. They're literally going through that process. So this is a thing. Okay, this is not they want Kamala Harris to win by any means necessary. And I do mean by any means necessary. That's why those borders are open. That is exactly why those borders are open. And I talked about this weeks ago, and I told you how it was going to affect the election. Here we are 2 weeks away, okay, about 10 days away from the election, and they're allowing these things to go on. People are suing the federal government, and they're saying, oh, well, it's too close. But they've been doing this for a year. They want that woman to win. Okay. And they want her to win because they don't want Donald Trump in. I've never seen it to where they don't want somebody in so bad that they're willing to change the demographics and do all of this illegal stuff, because having somebody vote, having somebody get a driver's license and they have no legal documentation is wrong. You can't do that. You can't even drive a car without it being illegal. Okay. If you don't have a driver's license, they will lock you up. But yet they will let somebody over the border, never vetted them. They don't have any documentation. They can go down to the DMV, get on the voter roll, get a driver's license and be perfectly fine. Get housing, get funding, all these things that regular American citizens can't do. And people are voting for this. You got to be out your mind. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to Governor Youngkin and Fox. Here we go.
We have to immediately petition for an emergency stay on this injunction, and we will do that as fast as we possibly can.
All right. Speaking of quickly, because I know you've got to get back at it real quickly now. So what happens? I know it's 1,600, and people may say, oh, that's not many. Every race in America is going to be tight. Let's just get that straight right now. So what happens if those voters are put back on the rolls? And are you concerned that there may be others out there who will try to register before Election Day? Can they even do that in your state?
At this point in our state, we do have same-day registration, but they cast a provisional ballot, and then we can go back and confirm whether that was a valid ballot or not. And in fact, that is the ultimate safeguard here for anyone in this process, which is they can always same-day register and cast a provisional ballot that then can be confirmed with the light of day on it. The reality is that we have safe and fair and accurate elections in Virginia. We have paper ballots and counting machines, not voting machines. They're not hooked up to the internet. We have extensive custody laws, and we have really clean voter rolls. And this is what I'm concerned about, is a federal judge telling us to put these people back on the voter rolls after we have done everything constitutionally consistent and consistent with our law, and by the way, common sense. So we are going to immediately petition for this emergency stay of the injunction and make sure that our voter rolls stay clean.
Why can't they just keep those votes aside, just like they would on Election Day, if there are any questions about anybody, and just put those aside and let the federal government vet those people themselves, even though they've already done it and they gave you the go-ahead that these were non-citizens? But let them redo that process. I don't understand what the rush is. It feels political. Your last comment.
Yeah, Harris, common sense is clearly not at play here, and that's our issue. And so the common sense answer is, of course, that if people have been taken off the voter roll, they're not able to affirm that they are a U.S. citizen, they shouldn't be voting. And they can, of course, affirm they are a U.S. citizen and get back on the voter roll. That is common sense. That's a process that's been working in Virginia for 18 years. And to have a federal judge order that we reinstate over 1,500 individuals back on the voter rolls doesn't comply with common sense, the Constitution, or Virginia law.
Every American needs to be focused right now on Virginia and what's happening with those non-citizens. Governor.
And Harris, last comment, get out and vote, folks. You know, this is an incredibly important election, and we are asking all common sense minded Virginians and Americans, get out and vote.
So there you have it. You have Governor Youngkin fighting with the DOJ, fighting with the federal courts to take off non-citizens, okay? And they have to put them back on over 1,600 non-citizens. They're non-citizens. They have been confirmed to be non-citizens by not only the state, the federal court, but the court wants them back on, saying it's too close to the election. Why does that matter? They're not citizens. But we know what this is about. This is about the election. They want every vote to be counted, even if that vote shouldn't be counted, because they're not American citizens. We know what's going on here. The Democrats are committing fraud, plain day, broad light view. I called this out weeks ago, because I'm a true crimes girl. I'm an investigative girl. Like, I like to go and look up stuff, and I remember stuff. If I've seen it once, trust me, I know it. All right. Go look at that video and you can see everything that I researched. Okay. And at the end of the day, these people just don't want your vote to count. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video and check out the other video. Thank you for watching. It's your girl Mika, and I'm out. Peace.